Namaste, Dzień dobry, hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I recently hit 1,000 subscribers, so thank you for that. I will keep providing information with as much transparency as possible. और आप सभी का धन्यवाद. Today's video is going to be about nostrification. It's for bachelor students only. अगर किसी को अभी भी कोई doubt है तो if someone still has a doubt, it's only for students applying for bachelor studies in Poland. So what has happened since 8th of August and what used to happen? So just a little bit of context. Nostrification is essentially a decision where they look at the certificate of everyone who studied outside of Poland and they compare it to the Polish education system, and then they say, okay, it's similar. We give you the decision that your certificate is on par or is the same as Polish certificate, and you can continue your studies or start your studies in Poland. So it's not a new requirement. It has been there since before. It's just become mandatory now to show this requirement during your visa application. Unfortunately, it's not possible to do it without being in Poland. So you need to have a friend, agency, fellow YouTuber, any human being that you can trust. You have to send them your original documents and then they can initiate the process for you. Now, what has changed since 8th of August till today, which is 29 September? It's been almost a month and 20 days. And initially when I spoke to most of the Kuratoriums Oświaty, Kuratorium Oświaty is Education Superintendent's office. They are the office responsible for issuing this decision. So they all told me that it will take anywhere from 7 days to 1 month. This is a different story for Warsaw, by the way. In Warsaw, 70% of the international students live or study. I am speaking this because I have seen the statistics. If you don't trust me, please look at the description. There are some statistics available there. Reports from Poland. They're mostly in Polish, but feel free to check that yourself. So because 70% of all international students study/live in Warsaw, their office is already overloaded. So in Warsaw, they have an appointment system. So you have to take an appointment, which you get after 3 months, and then you submit your application. And because you have taken this appointment, they look at it, they consider your case, and then you get the decision between 2 weeks to 1 month max. Now, what happens with the other Kuratorium Oświaty or the other education superintendent's office, which are not in Warsaw, is the following. You can send them your document by post, or you can go to their office and submit it with a complete set of documents. And then each of them has a preferred time or a standard time for the processing. Legally, the standard time is 30 days maximum, but everyone works based on, if someone is on vacation, how many applications the office has. So there are factors which are considered and they are important for this. So when I called the Kuratorium Oświaty in Wrocław in August, they told me it will take 1 month. When I called the Kuratorium Oświaty in Kraków, they told me it will take 1 week. When I called them about a week ago, so exactly 1 month, maybe 10 days after the applications, they told me that right now they have been overwhelmed by the number of requests they have gotten. And for Wrocław, the time has extended to 3 months. And for Kraków, it's extended to 1 month. Now, there are other cities as well. Poznan, there's Gdansk, Szczecin, Rzeszów, Łódź. So if you are in one of these cities, chances are that 1 month is the processing time. So you could apply where you are. Okay, one more thing about the application. So the way it works is, imagine that you are in India. In India, there are 29 states and every state has a capital city. So if you live, let's say in Madhya Pradesh, then you can only apply in Bhopal. That's how it works. If you live in Rajasthan, then you can apply in Jaipur. That's how it works. If you live in Rajasthan, you cannot apply in Delhi, or you cannot apply in Bhopal. So with me, like if you ask me to help you out with this process, because I live in Dolnoslonsk, I can only apply. Dolnoslonsk is the Lower Silesia. I can only apply to capital of that region, which is Wrocław. And the current waiting time in Wrocław is 3 months. So if you're looking to get this done, I recommend a place in Gdansk, an agency or human being if you know them there. I recommend Krakow. I recommend Rzeszów, or any one of the less popular cities. Popular in the sense that not many students study there. There is a doubt that people have, my university is in Łódź, so I should only apply in Łódź. No, that's not the case. You can apply in any other place. The key is that the person who is applying for you, the office will need to communicate with them by post, primarily by post. So they expect you to have the same address. So for example, I live in Wrocław. You as an individual want to study in Łódź, Lodz. So you give the application to me and you tell me to apply in Łódź. So because of your request, I send this by post to Łódź. What's going to happen next is they will see that my address, or the person who is applying, his address is from Wrocław or Wrocław. So what they will do is they will just close your application and send it to Wrocław or Wrocław for consideration. So that's what it works. That's how it works. So my honest recommendation is that choose a city where there are less internationals and apply in that particular city, because the address of the human being applying is the most important thing. Moving on to the next part. As I said, right now the waiting time is 3 months to 1 week in Gdansk and so on. So, it's really not possible at this stage to apply. I know a few individuals who requested a visa based on the confirmation that you have sent the documents and the copy of all the documents that you submitted to the education superintendent's office, and yet their visas were rejected. Now, the reason that happens is, as far as I can tell, because this was also my recommendation, because, the argument is that you have started the process and now it's not in your power to do anything else. It's now the Curatorium Oświaty's responsibility to issue the certificate in due time, because, you are not in control of this education superintendent's office. So you have done everything you can and you're requesting a visa based on that. And that was my argument, my suggestion previously in the video that I made about a month ago. Right now what has happened, and the way I see it, is that the Minister of Education, Mr. Tomasz Sikorski, I believe, yes, he decided that this law needs to be implemented due to X or Y reasons. I'm not here to criticize anybody. I'm not in the position to criticize anybody. I'm simply telling you how it works. So the Minister of Education decided that from now on this requirement will be mandatory, not just for Indians but for other nationalities as well, including Belarus, and we'll speak about that in a moment. So he passed that law without consultations with universities, as far as I can tell, because universities are in a loss because they rely on international students to get finances and to function better. If international students won't be coming here, then their finances are less and then they essentially face problems. So the law was passed. Now, if you look at the individual embassies, be it in Egypt, be it in, I don't know, other countries, India, like primarily for me, let's look at the case of New Delhi. In New Delhi, there is the Consular General, the most important entity from the office, and then there are a bunch of officers there as well. So imagine that these officers get sentimental, which they won't, but let's imagine that situation. Let's imagine that they get sentimental and then they are like, okay, these people have applied, they cannot do anything else, they accept my argument, and then they give you the visa, they stamp you the visa. Then it's everything okay for you, but if there is an internal audit in Delhi consular section from the Ministry of Education, then the individual or the visa officer who stamped the visa will come under scrutiny, yes. He or she will come under scrutiny because why did you do it? There were clear guidelines that this law has been implemented. Everyone for bachelors needs a visa and needs a nostrification, and because they don't have nostrification, they are not going to get the visa. How did you give this visa? So if they do issue this visa, they will come under scrutiny, and then this is not something they want to risk. I'm telling you this because I know an individual who scored 93% in CBSE board. He was going to study at the University of Technology, and even he faced this unfortunate result. His visa was also denied, which for me is quite sad because, like, this should not be happening to an exceptionally good student. 93% CBSE board is not a joke. But anyway, this is happening, and my responsibility is to tell you what you can do about it. So let's come to that. So the bottom line is that you're going to need nostrification if you apply for bachelor study in Poland. There is no way around this. There's nothing you can do. One more thing is someone claims that they have some cut or they can get the process done faster, and they don't explain to you how. Like, I explained to you how this process can be done faster. If you apply in Gdansk or Rzeszów or one of these cities, then it could be done faster. But if someone simply claims that they have some cut or they know someone, just run away from these people. Don't pay anyone more than, let's say, I think 30,000 INR is a reasonable price for this. 1,500 zloty, something like that. Don't pay anyone any more than that because this is a simple thing. Also, there is no actual charge for the nostrification. It's done free of cost. So you just simply apply for it. They take their time to do it, and then they, and then you get the decision. I will go on a tangent here. This is especially frustrating because I was frustrated after 1 month. I had been waiting after I applied for a student. I went there after 1 month and 7 days, something like that, to ask them, hey, what's going on? Like, I applied 1 month ago. When I called 1 month ago, you said that it will be ready now. What's going on? And they were like, yes, please check back in another month. And then I was quite frustrated because, like, what is this? It's not a joke. So then I switched to Polish. I spoke to them in Polish and I was like, why are you doing this? What's the problem? And then they explained to me that their office is overloaded simply. So I asked them, who is responsible for it? Can I speak to them? Because, like, I would like to get their version as well. You're just some human being working in the office. So they said that we cannot give you the number. We cannot give you the number of their office, like the, which gate, which office they have. So I was like, okay, just give me their contact number and I'll check what's up. So they gave me the contact number. I called that number 35, 40 times. It took me about half an hour, 40 minutes, and I grew even more frustrated. So I went to, this is about the Wrocław office. It's located in the same building as Urząd Wojewódzki, or the governor's office. It's the second floor. Anyway, so like I went back to the office and I was like, hey, why is this happening? Why are you doing this? I called this number 40 times. I have been disturbing whoever this human being is for 40 minutes straight. He's probably annoyed or, just extremely frustrated, at least as frustrated as me, because he's been hearing the phone ring for 40 minutes. It's crazy. Like, why would you do this? And then the lady still declined to give me their number. So like, desperate times call for desperate means. So I just went on the internet. I did a little bit of research. I found this number where the human being responsible is. I went to his office and I was quite frustrated. So I knocked, I went in, and then immediately I got hyper humble. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, so it's a small office. There were 2 people who are responsible for issuing this decision of nostrification. And one of them was sitting in front of the computer. He looked tired. It was still 11 a.m. So I could see just how much work he had on his desk. There was a pile which was this big. And the second person was like, there was a storage room next to the office, something like this. He was sitting there and he was just like arranging files. And after speaking to them, they told me that in just the last 2 weeks, they have received about 800 something files. And that's why I have to wait a bit longer. So I did not argue with them. I did not tell them anything. I just told them that I wish them the best and I hope that everything works out. So, I now have sympathy for these people who are working in the office, because they're working salaried jobs. Like, they get one standard salary, and previously they had standard work. But now they have one standard salary and they have at least 10 times the work, which is just unprecedented. So, yes. Okay, going back to what you can do. You can talk to your university. You can tell them if you can study online for 1 semester. For example, I know that the University of Wrocław or the University of Wrocław has this program where Bachelors of Business Administration students can study online for the first semester, which gives them enough time to get a decision from the Kuratorium Oświaty, from the Education Superintendent's office. So if that's a possibility for you, I recommend that. So, but that is under the assumption that you are applying for nostrification. Second is, see if you can defer your intake to March. So talk to your university, tell them that, hey, could you please let us start from the second semester or from the first semester in March, because this is a very difficult time, and we will have enough time by March to get this decision. And the third, or the one of the bad solutions, unfortunately, is that you just have to wait 1 year. This is also under the assumption that you have started your nostrification procedure and then you are just waiting to join in the next intake. The problem is that most public universities, this is 97% of the public universities, do not have intakes for bachelor students in March. Private universities like Vistula, like WSP do. But the issue with the private universities is that although the education is the same, they don't have the same level when you go to market. So for example, there's one human being who studied at the University of Technology versus one who studied at Vistula, and they both apply for a job. So the HR would look at the person from the University of Technology and they would be like, okay, this must have been a good student. That's why they went to a public university. So I would much rather give them the chance than someone who went to Vistula or WSP. Now, I'm not saying this is always how it works. This is just a subconscious psychological thing. And, there is a hierarchy of universities. Public universities are better than private universities. So, yeah, there we go. These are my suggestions. Thank you so much for watching this long video. I understand that this comes with some difficult decisions that you have to make. However, there is something that you should know. I assume that everyone watching this video is 18 to 20 years old, because you're going for your bachelor's. I think that this is a very important learning moment, because this is how life works. Sometimes things just change like this in a blink, and the best choice that we have is to fight and to keep trying to see what we can do to make the situation favorable, and never lose hope. Yeah, because when we do lose hope, it gets very difficult, and life is difficult. This is an unprecedented change, and I wish you the best. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for 1,000 subscribers.